Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. There's been many versions of Bray Wyatt over the years. Husky Harris Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt Bray Wyatt, The Fiend Bray Wyatt, Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt, and most recently, after being burned alive by Randy Orton, Crispy Fried Fiend Bray Wyatt. One day, all of these versions of Bray Wyatt are gonna have a super meta Firefly Funhouse Battle Royal, and I'm there for it. But going by an update to the WWE Supercard game, we might be getting yet another new version of The Fiend for WrestleMania. The Fiend wearing a towel on its head. What I'm now calling the Phenomenal Fiend. Better come out doing AJ's towel on head thing, which I do every time I'm wearing a hoodie. This is, of course, very different from the towel-less Crispy Fiend we've seen since its return at Fastlane last month. And it could be a reference to one of the many versions of Bray Wyatt we never actually got to see. Cross-dressing Sister Abigail Bray Wyatt from his 2017 TLC match against Pumpkin King Demon Finn Balor, which was scrapped due to Wyatt falling sick. Maybe it's a good thing we didn't see that match. Much of the Fiend's gimmick is based around Bray exercising WWE's bad booking demons from his career, so a reference to one of the most mocked parts certainly fits, especially with the inclusion of the Sister Abigail-like character of Alexa Bliss. It would also be a good way to cover the Fiend's layers of makeup coming apart while actually wrestling, which is still better than the old red lighting. There's been a lot of reported WWE plans for the Fiend versus Randy Orton over the last several weeks, which often implies nobody actually knows what's happening, least of all WWE. There have been rumours from Bliss also getting a Fiend-like mask in an idea that was originally meant to debut at the Royal Rumble, all the way to the Fiend possibly just squashing Orton in minutes, like his SummerSlam 2019 debut against Finn Balor. But it does seem the match will actually at least partly take place in front of fans, rather than being a fully cinematic Firefly Funhouse match, as Vince McMahon wants a big Fiend live entrance as a WrestleMania spectacle. What do you think is going to happen with The Fiend and Orton at Mania? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere, also with a towel on my head. Speaking of things from out of nowhere, Lars Sullivan has announced his first post-WWE appearance after being released by the company back in January. Lars told Fightful he was done with wrestling after suffering crippling anxiety before WWE TV tapings, which was eventually what led to his release, having no-showed multiple episodes. But it seems the last few months might have softened his thoughts on wrestling again, as he'll be appearing at the Wrestling Universe store in Queens, New York on Saturday the 8th of May for a signing session. While it's not an in-ring return, it is wrestling related, and as the world opens up more and more thanks to the vaccine rollout, Lars will be a very in-demand name for indie promotions wanting a former WWE star. Sullivan appears to be aware of that, as he's relaunched his Instagram with the new handle at Lars_Sully, which has multiple posts of him working out with a bio that describes him as pro wrestler, along with an email address for bookings. Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this episode's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends, which you can download using my links below now to your mobile phone or PC. What have I got to do today on my to-do list? Be the cutest online news personality? Tick. Shout at Pete for no reason? I've done that twice already. I need a new to-do list. Help me out here, my undead horde buddy Saito. You don't look that great at the moment. You haven't got your armor on, you're low on confidence. What's the matter there, little buddy? What's the matter? You doing okay? Oh my god, you're powering up and I'm powering up too! Take down the Demon Lord! Crush the Ice Golem! Ascend the Doom Tower! That's more like it. Get your life in order by figuring out the perfect champion combinations to take on raid bosses, dungeon runs, campaigns and PvP arenas. It's that variety of so many different gameplay modes that makes me keep coming back to Raid. So what's new in Raid? As they've just hit their 2-year anniversary, happy birthday! There's loads of special events and tournaments going on right now, including the first ever Clan vs Clan tournament. So get started right now by downloading Raid using WrestleTalk's special links in the video description below, or by scanning my QR code, where you'll get 100,000 silver, 50 gems, 3 ancient shards, and the 3 epic champion Jotun. All this treasure will be waiting for new players here in the inbox for the next 30 days. Comment down below once you've downloaded Shadow Legends and I'll reply telling you to raid that raid. Support WrestleTalk, support Raid Shadow Legends. In what will surely go down as one of the craziest things to happen in wrestling this year, the WWE Network announced last Friday that current top AEW star Chris Jericho will appear on the special post-WrestleMania Night 2 episode of the Broken Skull Sessions, being interviewed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Break the forbidden walls down! Da-da. Stone Cold revealed in an interview that he and Jericho came up with the idea, and Vince was totally fine with it when they pitched it to him. And CM Punk believes that shows McMahon doesn't actually see AEW as a threat. Speaking to TMZ Sports, Punk said, "I think it shows Vince McMahon isn't afraid of AEW at all. If he was, he wouldn't allow that to happen." Punk did go on to say that even though he doesn't think Vince fears AEW, don't expect Austin to ask Jericho about how much better the AEW locker room is than WWE's, or the NXT ratings war, or Big Show and Christian Cage jumping ship, saying it'll probably be a feel-good interview where they talk about Jericho's past at WWE. I'm sure they'll mention AEW, but they won't get into the hard questions that I think people are interested in. And he should know, after changing the culture with WWE backstage. Punk, interestingly, also had some criticism for AEW for allowing Jericho to do it, which is a take I haven't actually seen yet, but it does make sense. There is also something to be said about keeping your guys special, and the only place you can see this superstar is on my television show. But it's a new age, and both companies need all the eyeballs they can get at the moment. And that's not the only criticism AEW has recently received, as Jericho himself has revealed their own TV network wasn't best pleased with them last December. Speaking on Talk Is Jericho, Y2J described TNT's reaction to AEW's big Sting debut surprise on the Winter Is Coming episode as, "Don't do that again. We don't want surprises, we want to take advantage of the ratings." Jericho said that's why Big Show Paul White's signing was announced on social media ahead of their TV episode, and Christian Cage's pay-per-view debut was teased on the Go Home show. AEW President Tony Khan has since given his side of the story to PW Insider though, saying he should know as he's the one who actually had that conversation. I want to make it clear, TNT never said don't do surprises. They thought that was great, and they got a huge reaction to Sting. There's a balance between announcing things in advance and telling fans in advance when something's coming, or surprises that came out of nowhere. Which might be why AEW have announced that Mike Tyson will be making his return to Dynamite tonight, after first appearing in a brawl segment with Chris Jericho last May, with big competition against NXT Stand and Deliver Night 1 on the USA Network, which you can watch our live reactions to with Chopper and Tempest on the WrestleTalk podcast channel. Do you think Vince is scared of AEW? Let me know in the comments down below, where I'll be asking if McMahon doesn't fear Tony Khan, then why isn't he inducting Kenny Omega in last night's Hall of Fame? The AEW World Champion tweeted during last night's ceremony, "Wait, you mean to tell me I was snubbed again this year? Jeez Louise, what's a guy gotta do around here? It's a travesty." Speaking of last night's Hall of Fame, thanks for your support on Patreon, WrestleTalk's personal ring announcer Rodrigo Benitez, and he can last Sean for longer than you in the ring. Last night saw the combined 2020-2021 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, which saw the 2020 class of JBL, the British Bulldog, Jushin Thunder Liger, William Shatner, the Bella Twins, and the NWO be inducted, along with the 2021 class of Rob Van Dam, Molly Holly, the Great Khali, Ozzy Osbourne, Eric Bischoff, and Kane. Nikki Bella thanked her former fiancé John Cena in her speech for teaching me a lot about this business and truly helping me find my fearless side. Cena actually gave her induction speech, she just couldn't see him, while JBL took a rare sincere note, wanting to say something to all those backstage he's upset over the years, alluding to his alleged bullying and harassment of Mauro Ranallo, the Blue Meanie, and current AEW ring announcer Justin Roberts, and apologise for absolutely nothing, you goddamn snowflakes. Was actually a really good promo. Titus O'Neil and longtime WWE employee Rich Herring received the Warrior Award, which is presented to an individual who's exhibited unwavering strength and perseverance. While Titus was a bit of a meme in the early days of our Quizzlemania show, and he's kind of most known these days for falling over, it's important to remember he is an incredible human being. Here's a personal story about Titus from Reddit user rbarton812. Titus drives people from his church to their cancer treatment appointments when they don't have other means of a ride. That's where he met my mother. He's sat and spoke to her multiple times, remembering topics they spoke about previously, even if there was months in between meeting. He even remembers to ask about her son that grew up wanting to be a wrestler. In a business full of carnies and egomaniacs, thank you, Titus, for existing. Unfortunately, Monday's Raw, which was the go-home episode to WWE's biggest show of the year, WrestleMania, tied its lowest rating of 2021, with last week's 1.7 million, which means somehow all the people, me included, who watched last Monday's terrible episode where they broke up the Hurt Business and drafted over King Corbin for no reason, just tuned in again. What the hell is wrong with us? The show saw all the Raw and SmackDown women standing in a row ahead of the Fatal 4-Way Tag Match for Night 1, where the winning team will face champions Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for Night 2. But apparently, that wasn't always the plan according to WrestleVotes, who have tweeted, original idea prior to the Women's Tag Team Turmoil match being decided on was to have the annual Women's Battle Royal, where the final two would be winners and form a tag team the next night, much like the WrestleMania 15 Battle Royal that Test and D'Lo won and lost later to Owen and Jarrett. I'd put good money on it being a singles champion and their number one contender, because how? Will they coexist? And the WWE pay-per-view schedule post-WrestleMania has been reported by PW Insider, with Money in the Bank taking place on May 16th, while Backlash is scheduled for the 20th of June. That will all be part of the next season of Wrestle League, our fantasy predictions league for WrestleTalk Patreons, where you can compete against me, Luke, Laurie, Adam, Pete, and all your fellow Patreons for multi-show supremacy. And for a prize of £100 worth of vouchers for WrestleShop.com. Go over to our Patreon page by clicking the link in the video description below to start with WrestleMania 37. And make sure to watch our WrestleMania predictions on the WrestleTalk podcast channel today by clicking the I above my head. But for now, to play us out, here's the loser of the last season of Wrestle League, Andy Datson, doing his music video Punishment as voted on by Patreons, a performance of Carmella's fabulous entrance song, El Divo style.
F-A-B-U-L-O U-S-yes Diamonds on my neck. Yes, I'm fabulous. They keep hating me. I don't stress. Don't got time for this, 'cause I'm fabulous. Peach. Big hair and high heels. nobody else.
Got money like this.
Diamonds on my neck, and a leather print,
Fresh money padding.
and designer brands.
Got a necklace so big.
I could hardly stand. Everybody knows that I am fabulous, and I'm the baddest chick around. Try to step to this, come on. F-A-B-U-L-O-U-S, yes, diamonds on my neck, yes, I'm fabulous. They keep hating on me.
I don't stress.
Don't got time for this.
'Cause I'm fabulous.
Ain't nobody
Hotter than this chick.
right her.
Eyes so cold.
Make them haters go burr. If I was you, I would be jealous too. The queen with the crown, make them fellas drool. I am fabulous.
Andy is fighting for the championship on WrestleMania Night 1. Click the video on the right to watch his, mine, Laurie, Luke and Adam's WrestleMania predictions, where my hair is on the line. And WWE have leaked a spoiler for WrestleMania. Click the video below that to find out what. And go and download Raid using our links in the video description below. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam.